Good afternoon. How's everyone doing today? All right. So I'm Mike. All right. I'm here to talk to you about something I care a lot about. So I like having conversations. In hybrid organizations, what do you think we're talking about when it comes to hybrid? It's a very broad term. So what is it you think we're talking about? I do call on people if you don't answer. Working from home and in the office? Yep. Yeah. Any other type of hybrids? All right. Collecting teams, talking to each other?
Functional project leadership.
Functional project leadership? Tech versus business? But today we're focusing on the people aspect. Right? Whether it's tech versus business, what's the centerpiece of all this? People. Is that fair? Remember that time in history when people loved being treated bad? Oh, no? No. Okay. Doesn't happen, right? Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about whatever it is. There's no time where people like being mistreated. Is that fair? All right. So let's do exercise. All right. This is I agree. This is I disagree. Everyone got it? Yes. On three, you're going to answer the question. 1, 2, 3, put your answer out there. Everyone got it? It's not fair? Yep. All right, let's do a quick practice. All right. 1, 2, on 3. See, that's why we practice, right? On 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, great, we got it. So I agree, I disagree. Here's the question. Does pineapple go on pizza? Wait, see, we just practiced. All right, 1, 2, 3. All right, so we have yes, 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 no, no, yes. Oh, so do we agree on this? All right, let me ask you one more question. This is an easy one. Is water wet? Yes or no? 1, 2, 3. So here's what's going to happen. Everyone's going to stand up. All right, go ahead and stand up. Introduce yourself to 5 people and have a conversation about why they like pineapple on pizza, right, or why they don't like it, and why water is wet or why it's not wet. Right, you have 30 seconds per person. All right, switch. Talk to somebody else. How you doing?
Good.
Very good. I like your handshake. That's how you both shake hands.
I grew up with a brother and 6 male cousins. I had practice, trust me. You're trying to tell us that recess is over and it's time to start, right?
I'm listening.
You listening? I'm like, I'm Tosh.
All right, switch. Find somebody else.
We've agreed to disagree on the pineapple.
All right, is water wet?
That's a good question. Does it get things wet?
Does it get things wet? Is that okay? Does water get things
Is
wet?
water wet?
Okay, is it wet? Yeah, I think so. What do you think?
It's wet unless you're wearing something water resistant.
Okay. It's wet and it gets things wet because I think you have to be one to do the other, right? How does it get things wet?
All right, time. So now, what I need you all to do is grab your stuff, come up to the front, sit next to somebody. Sit next to somebody who you have not talked to. That means the back 2 rows, I'm talking to y'all. All right, so while you're moving around, let me ask you some questions. Have you ever heard of Tuckman's ladder? Tuckman's ladder? How many PMPs do we have in the room? So you heard of it, it's just do I remember it? Is that really the question? So let's talk about forming, storming, norming, performing, and so we have heard about it, right? All right. It's just because of I called it Tuckman's ladder instead of team development. Now all of a sudden I don't know. Now, you can sit over here. It's fine. All right. All right. So here's what's happening. Do we agree on pineapple on pizza? Do we agree that water's wet or not wet? Oh, by the way, I am pineapple on pizza. And water is not wet. It makes things wet. No, so now let me ask you a question, right? Does anybody want to fight me because I like pineapple on my pizza? Does anybody want to go get a job at the Pizza Hut by my house and take the pineapple off my pizza? No. So what happens is, if you understand that people are the central piece of any organization, because you know we got people, processes, and business. Do people need the business? What do y'all think? Yes? All right. Does the business need people? All right. Do we want the people or the business to change? Not as far as structure and what they're delivering, but as in being a business. Should the processes change? But how many times are we so stuck on the process that we're giving up people or the business, or vice versa? Sound good? Because I need the business. The business needs me. But how many of you want to manage projects using PowerPoint? Not do you want to? For a long time in the military, I had to manage projects using that one powerful software, Excel. All right, and I was not happy. So you know what I wasn't doing? Critical paths, network diagrams, it was just dates. So when we talk about people and bridging the gap, we gotta look at all three. Sound fair? So we're going back to forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. Does it make a difference by me just having an icebreaker with you? Something small, pineapple on pizza? Does it make it better? Did you meet somebody new today? How many of you came here because you probably said, you know what, I should network? No, they're laughing because they're agreeing, right? But the thing is, I want to network, but I don't want to talk to people. So what happens is we have icebreakers. We talk about silly stuff, and I can be true to who I am. Does that make sense? I don't need to make up something. I don't like the question of, what was the last book you read? Not because I don't like reading. It's just, it's not fun to me. So when we talk about who I am, on this list on the wall, which one of these things do you think is true? Well, first of all, have you ever been to Mortal Kombat? How do you know I wasn't there? No. So the truth is, none of these are true about me. All right? What they are is just like if you want me to give you a black and white answer that is just do this and all your problems are solved, that's not how it works. Why is that true? People. Are people easy to deal with? So everyone here is a project manager, is that fair? All right. So a lot of times I hear PMs say, you know, I've been, the project's going well, then this happened, and they're dealing with people the entire time. But then I tell them, you realize if it wasn't for people, you probably wouldn't have a job. Right? Our job is to be managers of chaos, right? So what's true about me, all right? So married, 6 kids, right? I love my wife. My wife just placed first runner-up for a strawberry pageant in Fort Mill, where I live. All right, just want to brag on my wife real quick. All right, got a lot of daughters. They all do cheer, so I'm a cheer dad. All right, and I thought that basketball and football was expensive. It's cheer. I had no idea. It's cheer. All right, I like volunteering in my community in multiple different aspects. Retired military. All right, right now I'm a project manager for United Health Group, not Care. I do nothing with insurance. All right, so don't come for me. I'm not. All right, I do projects. All right, so I'm working in a subsidiary company of UHG, HomeEd. All right, so what do? Enterprise rollouts. That's all I do across the South region. Now, I don't know about you, but a big portion of my job is people. Processes are the easy part. Microsoft Project, Teams, Smart Sheets, that's the easy part, if you know how to use it. So when we talk about what I like my bourbon, all right? To me, that's a good time. But can we bond together over a lot of different things? Pineapple on pizza? Pineapple not on pizza. How many of you are in an endless debate with a good friend of yours about football or some other activity? Do those bonds grow? So can conflict also create friendships, professional relationships? Right? So 20 years in the military, I learned one thing. People. People first. Not the mission, not the job, the people. If anybody here a veteran? They always said, whatever branch we're in, people first, mission second, or mission always. But if we take care of the people, will they take care of the job? Yes. If I take care of you, will you take care of me? If I try to take care of me, then who are you going to take care of? You. Is that fair? So when we talk about the challenge in hybrid environments, working from home versus working in the building, how many of you work from home? How many of you work full-time in the building? How many of you are hybrids? All right, who likes working from home 100%? Who likes working in the building 100%? Who likes working hybrids? Who's right? That's the wrong question, is it? But that's the wrong question. Everybody understand that? It's not about who's right, because I'm going to say I'm right, and what do you say? You're right, which gets us nowhere. Where the thing is, what do we need? What do I need? What do you need? All right, what motivates me? What motivates you? And what motivates me does not motivate you. Is that fair? So let me give you an example. You have a choice. You can get $3,000 cash bonus or 40-hour pay time off award. Who wants the money? It's not a bad answer. Anybody? Right. Who wants to pay time off? Right. Don't get me wrong, if I get the money, I'll be happy, but I told you I got 6 kids. Cheer. It's not going to me. 40-hour pay time off? Oh, on Monday, I'm waking up, and what's going to happen is my wife's going to say, oh, you're late for work. I'm going to go, oh, I'm off this week. She said, you didn't tell me that. Oh, I thought I did. Then she's going to leave, and then at 10 o'clock, I'm going to get up. I'm going to go get me a small glass of bourbon, not because I want a day drink, but because at 10:05, my phone's going to ring. Since you're off today, I need this. And now I can say, oh, I can't, I've been drinking. Now, so when it comes to people, all right, The big challenges we have are hybrid environments, blurred physical and digital boundaries. All right, how many of us, is everyone computer literate? Everyone? Now let's talk about what computer literate is. Excel. You all know what Excel is, right? If you had to apply for a job that said you must be proficient in Excel, what would you say? Yes, right? Is anybody here like me? I thought I was good at Excel until I met somebody who was actually good at Excel. So I'm going with this? So what is proficient? Very subjective, is it not? Right. So when we talk about the blurring the lines, if I stay focused on trying to prove that working in the building is better, and you're trying to prove working remote is better, are we actually having a conversation, or are we trying to win an argument? I'm trying to prove my point. And if I'm trying to prove my point, what am I not doing? And since we're not listening, that makes us more reliant on not taking care of people. And as all of you are project managers, I'm assuming you heard of the triple constraint: scope, schedule, and cost. What's the big rule about that? Something's going to give. But we got to choose what's going to give. So we just said we have a paradigm of people, processes, and business. What do we want to give? The processes. Doesn't mean we don't have processes. We still need them. Is that fair? So we got to make a choice of what's first for us. So we got to look at what's better for not just the people, but also for the business. Right? Because I need the business, and does the business need me? Yes. So what do we want to give? The process. We also have misalignment between people, business goals, and processes. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into this, but has anybody here ever done mergers and acquisitions? All right. So I did it. I don't know what I did to deserve this. For 2 years, that's all I did. All right. And do people like change? No. What? Oh, my goodness. No. Now, some people are better at it than others, and some are completely worse than others. So when it comes to mergers and acquisitions, it's a lot of change at a rapid pace. But I can also tell you, if I ask you one question, how does your program or your job or your project align to the mission and vision of the organization? If you can't tell me, guess what? You go into the pile of review. Do you want to be in that pile? No. If you could tell me, oh, this, and this, you go into a later pile. Is that fair? Now, does anybody think I'm wrong in asking that question, though? Because we should be aligned, but I'm still going to say I'm focused on people. Here's why. How many times have we done projects because Mike had a good idea? Somebody in a key position had a good idea. Then we give that power, start working on it, and then what happens is we find out that it does not support the goals of the organization. And then money runs short, and what do we have to cut? It's pretty simple, right? But people are part of the equation, and that's why we all have to be aligned in what we're doing. Our projects, our processes must all be aligned. And of course, we have risk. Communication breakdowns. I heard people say, is water wet? Then people said, well, what do you mean by that? Like, does it make things wet? What is wet? Because we don't agree on definitions, we have definitional disparity. All right, so what's happening is we either align our jargon, our lexicon, our business dictionary, and what we want to do. We got to make sure we have improved efficiencies, reduced defects, anything that can take away from scope, schedule, or cost. Anything that take away from people or the business. So, any questions so far? So, what can we do? So, the top bullet, foster trust. Now, this sounds simple. Is building trust easy? Do you all trust me? I heard a long time ago that it's people you trust with your wallet, people you trust with your spouse, people you trust with your kids. I trust people you trust with your life. I trust my doctor with my life. Is that fair? But if I get surgery, I leave my wallet at home, though. All right? There's people you trust with your money, your bank. But I'm not letting the bank come in and watch my kids, though. So very rarely we find all three or all four things. So we talk about fostering trust. We have to ensure we know who we're talking to, which means get to know you first. Is that where we start? I got to get to know you first. What's a good way of doing that? Hey, does pineapple go on pizza? It's a lot about who you are if you said no. I'm playing with you. But what happens is we got to talk to people, get to know them, see what they're about, and then we see if we align. Is that fair? Am I the only one who has a good friend who it started off where we didn't like each other? Am I the only one? It's just me? I don't know why. It's a me problem. I fully understand that. That some of my friends, we did not like each other. We got together and said, you know what? We're now best friends. Yep. All right? Because something happened, and all it was we got to know each other. So at your job, how many of you want to work for a robot? Anybody? All right. Do you have different personalities? I'm going to ask you a question, okay? And I want you to listen to the question I'm asking, not the answer you want to give me. Does how I feel matter at work? Yes. Notice I didn't say, does it matter or should it matter? Does it matter? Two different questions, right? Now, you may be somebody who's like me. I don't like you to work with you. I know, it's just work. I'm just not inviting you to the barbecue. Does that make sense? All right, but what happens is, I'm still professional. That's Mike's personality type. You may be somebody, if you've ever done a personality test, you realize your personality, you learn about other people. Some people are, no, I want to know, how's your mama, how are your kids? How was your weekend, what you do today? Some people are, just give me a checklist of what you want and leave me alone. All right, some people are, what's this high-risk project? I want it. High visibility? I want it. Is one better than the other? No, because our business is made up of a ton of different people. They are. So when we look at our solutions, we have to establish clear expectations. Right? What is the expectation out of you? How many of you have started a job that what the job posting said and what they asked you to do on the first day don't match? I'm sorry, I'm making that up. That never happens. Right? So we can establish clear expectations, like, hey, about performance, processes, what we're doing here. Hey, we are a culture of a company that cares about compliance first, safety first. We're family-oriented, not just in words, but in action. All right? So we look at clear expectations. Make sure everybody understands the goals. Because we have that understanding. Because we don't understand which direction we're going, then how can I actually lead you? How can I help you grow? How can you help me grow if we're going in two different directions? Understand doesn't mean we agree. Do we agree about pineapple on pizza? Anybody mad at each other now? No, we just don't agree. So what are we going to do? Order 2 pizzas. Order something else. Get Chinese food. There's so many options out there. All right? Then we have regular check-ins. So for those who work remotely, do you do check-ins? Anybody got any examples of how they do check-ins before I give mine? Oh, you just want to hear my melodious voice? All right, I got you. Every week we have one-on-ones where we have scheduled one-on-ones, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. There's people on my team who I live in a completely different state than. But we know a lot about each other because we talk once a week. And if I talk to this one person, we have a scheduled 30 minutes, we're going to talk an hour. If I got somebody else, we're going to talk 30 minutes because they talk like this. And I'm like, but my personality can't get in the way of that. Does that make sense? So we talk about talking to people, doing check-ins. Do we do check-ins in the physical office? The difference is it's just easier. Is that fair? How many of you have went to the printer to pick up a piece of paper up and we're gone an hour? Because you got into 5 conversations. So it's just more natural. That means in a virtual environment, we got to do it on purpose. I can't just call. Why not? Do you have a phone? Does it work? It's only weird because we're not doing it. Is that fair? All right. If I call you every week, then you expect me to call you every week. Is that fair? All right. So when it comes to building relationships, assuming you all have somebody you love that's very close to you, parent, somebody, do you want to talk to them on a weekly basis, at least? Some people on a daily basis? So how can I, in a virtual environment, not talk to my employees on a routine basis if I'm trying to build a relationship? If I'm trying to get understanding, if I'm trying to make sure our goals are aligned. Do we have multiple channels? So, you know what channels are. Is it Teams, Zoom, a telephone, text message? Does it matter? Can I have too many forms of communication channels? where now I can't answer all this stuff because it's too many? We can. But we gotta make routine things routine. Check-ins. If we're gonna use Teams, we use Teams for everything. All right? If we're gonna use this, we're gonna use it all the time. Make routine things routine. Now, we talk about workflows. This one goes right back into our technology. How many of you use Project, Smartsheets, Outlook, Teams? All sounds familiar, right? So when we talk about using these different things, using shared tools in a perfect world where IT has not blocked off everything, right, is Microsoft Project a powerful tool? Does everyone need Microsoft Project? No. So what's the right tool for the right job for the right people? Now, how many of you have been formally trained in Microsoft Office? Formally trained meaning you went to a course, sat there, they taught you, and you got a certificate. One person.
I went through what you did though. I thought I was pretty smart at Excel. And you found that I wasn't, so yeah. My wife and I did it as a team together.
I actually like that you said that.
And we sat through an Excel class together at the extra community college course.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know nearly what I thought it did.
Yeah, the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know. All right? And so the point is, I thought I was good until I met somebody who was good at it. I think I'm great at running projects. But I see people, I'm like, whoa, they are impressive. Then I'm just to be humble. Then I'm like, oh, good, they know IT stuff. So that's why they're better at this than me. I'm joking around. But the reality is, all this stuff comes down to training, does it not? So why do I, as a business, expect my people to be proficient in a job that I've never trained them to do? Right? How much more productive could we be if I sent all my staff to training on the system we're using, on how to use Microsoft Project? Would it make a difference? But my job won't pay for it. Okay. Well, when we hire new people at my job has paid for Smartsheet University. In the first 2 weeks of onboarding somebody new, what I make them do is, hey, go take this module of training. Because the first 2 weeks, are you that busy? All right. The first month is probably the most time I have to train you. Is that fair? After that, I want my return on investment. So now what's happening is we set people up for success by training them on the software that's in front of them, right, on how we use it as a team, right, for the processes that we are doing that are going to support the business. Does that make sense? And the business is allowing me to actually do that with my people. So what happens now is we are allowed to train our people. They get 2 weeks of training on to module or Smartsheets, what we use at our job. Excuse me. And then what happens is we then give them something to fix to improve our process. Why am I doing that? Because I understand forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. Right? We have a conversation, show you how to do stuff, and then have you fix a problem that we have because I want you to feel comfortable talking to the team. Sound good? I want you to feel comfortable not agreeing with me. I don't want everyone agreeing with me. Sound good? That doesn't mean I want everybody fighting me, but I invite divergent thinking. What's divergent thinking? Thinking outside the box. How many of you like when someone told you, that's not how we do things here? Did you feel good when someone told you that? It motivates you, right? Kind of like saying, we need to be more agile. Sorry, pet peeve of mine. Because you're not saying anything. Does that make sense? We want to give clear objectives, clear instructions. So our shared tools help with our multiple communication channels. Because can Project connect to Outlook? Can Smartsheets connect to other systems and alert people of new tasks, new assignments? But we're not using them. Why not? Learn how to use it. I meet a lot of people who will build individual documents on PowerPoint or Excel because that's what they're used to. And why is that true? Go back to earlier. Do people like change? No, I'm comfortable with PowerPoint. How do I get you more comfortable with the system we're using? Let me train you on it. So we look at inclusive practices. All right, and you've been here all day, so you've heard about DE&I and all that kind of stuff. Let's talk about inclusiveness and what that really is. How many people here, let's say this group over here, including me, are new? All of you get up at 2 o'clock on Thursday and go to happy hour. It's team building. How many people here would invite themselves? Okay. How many people over here would invite themselves? One person? Two? Right? Why am I bringing that up? I don't invite myself to play. If you wanted me to go, you'd invite me. That's my logic. Doesn't mean I'm right. Doesn't mean I'm wrong. No, inclusiveness is I'm bringing you into the fold. Does that make sense? All right? That's all it means. I'm bringing you into the fold so that you can actually say, hey, on Thursday we go to happy hour. You want to go? I'm buying. Definitely. Now, while I'm saying happy hour, and I'm talking about inclusiveness, does everyone want to go to happy hour on Thursday at 2 o'clock? No. I would like to go. Can't go. Why not? I got to go to my second job, unpaid Uber driver. Drive my girls to cheer. Right? Got to be sober for that. So we look at being inclusive, we look at the people, and we have to bring them into the fold by being inclusive. We just bring them in. Does that make sense? All right. So we look at this and say, because once I have all these people, and now I have the shared tools, and now I have trained them on the tools, and now I have made sure they are aware of the objectives, do your job. So before I even gave you a project, before I assign you anything else, let's talk about the people aspect. Make sense so far?
Next year, we're inclusive, or say, whether you, sounds like you have a remote employee, right?
Say that one more time,
You have
please.
remote employees, it sounds like?
Yes.
So how do you handle that when you take like 2/3 of your team, do happy hour team building because you're all local, and your remote employees hear that at a staff meeting, like you all had a ball? How do you handle that?
Right. So the question was, I'm saying it for the mic. So the question was, how do you handle when you have hybrid employees, hybrid being work in the office, how do I do team building? Right? So what's happened is, sometimes when everyone's hybrid, that day that everyone's at home, my VP, what they do is they send like once a quarter, or every other month, drink packages. All right? Where everybody can just get whatever you want to drink, and they just have a drink. All right? And we have teams on, the videos on, and the rules are no shop talk. All right? We were talking about everything. All right? Long as it's professional. Well, won't get me in trouble, right? Right? But we talk about stuff, right? If it's in the office, if everyone's in the same area, sometimes they have that Tuesday, we'll do this. All right? Sometimes they play Kahoots. You know what Kahoots is? It's a little game you can play where you answer questions online. They play Kahoots games. And they have the Kahoots Olympics. Now, I don't know about you, but I am very competitive. Right? I don't care what it is, I want to win. All right? And if I can't win this time, I promise you I'm going to go home and study and try to win next time. Right? Not to the point where I'm trying to take somebody down, I just want to win. All right? Now, because in my house, all my girls do cheer and they all win first place. So me walking in with third place trophy is not going to go well. All right, so with that being the case, we do Kahoot games. All it is thinking outside the box. Does that make sense? I can still have happy hour. Because if I was going to go to the bar with you, I'm going to buy you a round of drinks. I can do that remotely too. It just takes more effort. Is that fair? All right, so cross-functional teams. What does cross-functional mean? Different specialties. Do I care about different specialties? Do you need to know tech to do project management with tech? No. Your job is to know the framework. Can you run a project? That's what I care about. I can teach you tech. Is that fair? What I can teach you is soft skills. All right? We can work on them over time, but there's no way I'm going to give you a 1-hour block of instructions, and now you're a master of soft skills. Is that fair? Do we all know somebody who you got to say, hey, this is Mike, before you talk to him, right? He just has no filter, but he's a good person. You all have that one friend? You got somebody who won't say anything at all? Whole point is, because we have different personalities, we do icebreakers. We talk to people. We understand Tuckman's ladder, team building. Understand we're bringing them in. We're being inclusive. We have cross-functional teams because I also want different skill sets. Because if I have a room full of different skill sets, can we have a better answer to a question? Right. Have you ever heard of an advertisement doing well here in the US, but bombing overseas? Right? Why? Because if I don't have that cross-functional team and we're not being inclusive, I'm going to miss information. Imagine if Apple made a phone and all the designers were 16. What would that phone not be able to do? Right? Probably couldn't make a phone call. Right? I know if it was my kids were doing it, it would have Roblox, Among Us, and some other games they play, right? But if I go, hey, what about a dictionary? What about the ability to access my project from work? What about security? It's not because they don't know about these things, it's because it's not been their experience. Is that fair? I can know something about, I probably know a little bit about what you do, but I'm not allowed to make decisions on it. Does that make sense? Here's why I'm saying this. I don't know enough details. Is that fair? Right? That's all it is. I don't know enough. It's easy to say, so I ask people this question all the time. I'm 6'1". Do people ask me all the time to grab stuff off the top shelf for them? Yes? Yes, and it's expected that I do it. Is that fair? All right, cool. So being tall, does it have its own problems? Okay, let me give you a real life one. Is it okay for me to ask someone who's shorter than me to grab something off the bottom shelf? Oh, you don't think that's a problem? So you don't think that at 6'1", when I go to the grocery store and the milk that my wife makes us buy is on the bottom shelf and tucked away, I have to get on the floor of the grocery store to grab this milk? Right? You don't know me. Guess what I don't like doing? I don't like touching floors. Not with my hands, not public floors. My floor is cool. Public floors, no. Have you ever pulled up carpet before? You would think carpet is disgusting. All right? So the whole point of this is very simple. Just because you have not seen that problem doesn't mean I don't have a problem. Is that fair? So by having cross-functional teams allows us not only to frame a problem with the left and right parameters, what's in scope, out of scope, but also do an analysis of it looking at it from a multi-angle view. Do different perspectives matter? Yes. That's all it is. So we get a cross-functional team so we can work on building that team together. No, he does not need to come up with a solution for how to do team building. You know why? Because he has a team. Right? Hey, what do you all think we should do to do team building? What would be fun to do? I do not need to know all the answers. What we're saying is talk to your team. Sound good? Because collectively, can we all solve the problem? Right. Do you know there's small units in the military, meaning 3 or 5 man teams? Can they do a lot of good stuff? Yeah. Why? Because they're smaller. And do they have to work together? They have to work together. All right? So that means we're talking to each other. We're working with each other. Why is that true? Because it's a team. Is the process going to change? What did Mike Tyson say? Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. Right? And does anybody here besides me have a project that was 100% perfect? Just me? Right? No, it's a lie, right? That's not how they work. No matter how well you plan it, is it going to change? And who do we rely on? Our team. So how can I rely on my team if I haven't worked on communication? If I haven't established clear expectations, roles and responsibilities, how to use technology, made it better by training you on how to use it? So what we're saying here is take time to do it. Now, we talk about the next slide, we have leverage technology. Kind of touched on it a lot, but I like technology. I have no desire to go to blackboards and chalk to run projects. Anybody? Well, my computer gets on my nerves sometimes. Right? I'd rather have it than if you ask me to do statistics with a chalkboard, I'm not doing it. That's my last day right there. I don't do public math, right? Because I like technology. But once again, we have to train people on that. Now, with that technology, what about security and access? Does everyone need write access? No. If you've ever built a dashboard, and I'm a big dashboard person, all right? Have you ever had somebody break your dashboard or break your formula, but no one tells you because when you ask who did it, magically nobody knows? All right. People don't know that in these vents for the air conditioner, there's these little bugs that come out and crash code. You didn't know that, did you? Right? No. But what happens is we have to make sure that we're training people, understand what's happening. And then we have security because they have to have the appropriate access. What's appropriate? That's up to you. All right? Then we have training, kind of talked about it. Training goes beyond just technology. If you hire me at the job, it doesn't matter how many certs that I have. I'm not going to walk in the door and go, hey, you're doing it wrong. The book says do it this way. I'm not going to be a good fit. Is that fair? Because even PMI tells you, project management is about tailoring it. So we tailor what we need to do. We tailor our skill set, which means that we always have to upskill what we are doing. I heard in the talk earlier, should you keep getting certifications? Yes, I have always said that. Any job I have a certification in. Why? Because what I thought I knew was the best practice, 9 times out of 10 I find out was not a best practice. It's just the only way I knew how to do it. Because to a hammer, everything looks like a nail. When all I knew was predictive, I tried to make every project fit a predictive model. And I was frustrated. Then I learned Agile. Then I tried to make it fit Agile, and I was frustrated. Agile is not a replacement of predictive. It all depends on what you're doing. So how many of you also do hybrid projects? Still, the focal point is people. Now, when it comes to leadership and culture, this is where the big struggle is. My first time managing a portfolio as a PMO, they hired me and said, Mike, once you come in, we're losing X amount of money every year on projects not being delivered. And we need you to change the culture of the organization. I was super excited. I'm here to tell you today, I'm not doing that again. I'm not doing that again, but let me tell you why, though. Because it's changing a culture easy. What should have took 2 weeks to do, now takes 8 months to do. Why is that true? Do people like change? No. Do you all like compliance? Every 2 years, someone comes in and everybody starts losing their mind, making 1,000 changes. It's fun, right? But what's the problem with that? Because we're making 1,000 changes in a 2-month period. Where Mike's answer now is, then why didn't we not just do it right the first time? Now, when I was younger, I was told, Mike, you don't understand. You're young to this project management. You're new here. Now that I'm older, I'm here to tell you, I still don't understand. Here's why. There's a book for it. There's a book on how compliance is supposed to be. And if you've ever done a Q&A or you've been a consultant, you walk in and you go, why are you doing it that way? Oh, the book doesn't work. It's not realistic. Okay, what does the book say? I don't know. See the problem there? And because we didn't make time to train people, she showed him her shortcut. Then he shows me his shortcut. And what do I show you? My shortcut. By the time compliance gets here, what happens? None of us know the process. So that's why the process must be part of the people. And to do all these things I'm talking about, does it require buy-in? Can I do any of this? Are you going to do it because I said do it? No, it's buy-in. So when we talk about getting buy-in to all of these different things, when we talk about empathy, transparent decision-making, lead by example, all this requires buy-in. Buy-in is actually very simple. Don't make a decision for the people. Tell them the problem and ask them what they want to do. 9 times out of 10, they're going to give you the exact same answer that you were going to say. But no difference, though? Now it's their idea. Is that a difference? What are some things that take away from buy-in? I say, hey, everybody, here's the problem. I think we should do this. What are your thoughts? Everybody goes, yeah, that's fine for me. It's quick, right? The problem is there's no buy-in because it was my idea. But I was trying to be helpful. Just ask the question and then be quiet. Simple. Never pass up a good opportunity to be quiet. Let people talk. All right? So we do buy-in by leading people, letting them talk, getting their ideas. By having that inclusiveness, they realize if we don't go with your idea, you realize it wasn't personal. Getting to know people is the biggest thing that we must do here. People first. If we take care of them, the job will be done. How many times have you been able to fix a problem for your boss that your boss didn't know was a problem? You did it because you're just a professional. You solved it and said, this is wrong, let me just fix this. But now they have no idea the problem exists. So now you say, we had this problem for 10 years. I'm going, no, we didn't, because I've never seen it. So that means that sometimes as a leader, we are quiet. We say, here's a problem, let people talk. All right? Doesn't mean you don't have a voice. You have a voice. You have the veto authority. Everybody understand that? But it means get buy-in first. If you want the thing to go well, get buy-in. How do I get buy-in? Ever heard of WIFM? W-I-F-F-M? What's in it for me? Answer that question. If I want you to do something, I need to tell you what's in it for you. Answer that question first. Here's why taking care of people will benefit you. It's less work on you. It's a heavy upfront lift, right? Training, coaching, mentoring, being patient, realizing mistakes are going to happen, but then we go, after about a few months, we go from forming to storming to norming, now we're performing. And performing, now I can take a step back. And now everybody's operating. And now I can focus on what I should be doing as a leader, which is removing impediments, getting you the money you need. Networking, so I'm going with this? It frees you up. I don't know about you, I like going home early on Friday. And since I work remotely, I'm home within 30 seconds. Right? And I spent no gas. So the whole point about it is when we do this stuff, take care of your people. So the outcomes are, we're going to be more agile. Agile means flexible. Now, pet peeve of mine, people say, we need to be more agile. That's dangerous because you're not actually giving any direction. You're just giving about buzzwords. Because if you know agile, you know that's a whole paradigm shift in how we do work, from top down to bottom up. So saying be more agile, but not empowering me to make decisions is not being agile. All right? But it makes us more resilient, more flexible. And also, by involving people, getting them engaged, will I have more engagement and retention? Do people quit bad jobs? Do people quit bad jobs or bad managers? Bad managers? All right, I've never quit a job that was bad if I had a good manager. You know why? Because the job wasn't bad because I had a good manager. All right? So take care of your people. And hopefully, at some point in your life, you've had an outstanding leader on a good time. What made them great? Empathy? Let you run with the problem. Do you need me? You got it? Cool. Let me know the outcomes. If something goes wrong, okay, what did we learn from this? Not, what did you do? We don't play the blame game. I learned in the military a long time ago. Good leaders don't blame somebody else. That makes sense? If you're the project manager for whatever it is, right, it doesn't matter what the last PM did, it's now yours. I can only blame the last PM for so long. Is that fair? I can only blame the last person there for so long until I had to own it. All right, so we look at enhancing collaboration. So we talk about, once again, forming, storming, norming. Can people get stuck in storming? All right? And usually we're stuck in storming because we're not talking to each other. They're not inviting me to happy hour. Right? When we make decisions, I asked you earlier, does pineapple go on pizza? And I said, yes or no, 1, 2, 3. Why am I doing that? Instead of just going, what do you think it is? Yes or no? Yes or no? Why did I do everybody at one time? I don't want to skew the outcome. I don't want bias to introduce itself. I want to know what your actual answer is. Does that make sense? Not, oh, since he said no, I'm going to say no. And then if someone doesn't agree with me, I don't go, what's the problem? I go, oh, okay, let's talk about why pineapple goes on pizza and why it doesn't. Maybe somebody was converted today to pineapple on pizza. Maybe someone was converted today to water's not wet or vice versa. The whole point is we start with conversation. And then we run with that conversation. We're not penalizing for the conversation. We're inviting it. Does that make sense? Right? And realizing that you don't agree, cool, but it's not personal. Because it's not me versus you. It's us versus the problem. Right? So this also leads to sustainable business performance. So as our processes change, as things change, as long as we're connected and aligned with everything else, we can deal with any change that's coming. Is that fair? For those who did mergers and acquisitions, did alignment break amongst the people? It does. Because now we go from this down back to storming, and now it's all about self-preservation. Where if we actually stay in front of it and be proactive, right, we are actually getting ahead of the problem before it actually becomes a bigger problem. We can avoid certain things. I'm a very big advocate for alignment up front to avoid layoffs. Right? Just because it's a good idea does not mean we should do it. Is no a bad word? No, sometimes it's not yet. So, in closing, we look at bridging the gap. It requires people, processes, and the business, and you should treat it like your triple constraint. Do you want the people to give, the process to give, or the business to give? Right? Pick one. Right? Is this a finite, definitive rule? No. Right? Things change. Technology changes. AI is here now. Things change. But we gotta stay hungry and stay aligned and motivate each other. And hybrid organizations need trust. Because the minute we start doing layoffs and mergers, what happens? LinkedIn gets updated, open to work, Mike's taking new headshots. Is that just Mike? All right? Because people don't like change. But I have a theory. People don't like change because it's not routine. But if we make routine things routine, such as change, like every month we're going to make this change to upgrade our process. Every month we're going to do this to fix our process. Every month we're going to do this project to make something better for the process that's going to benefit the people in the business. Then that change is no longer a big deal because it's not change, it's now just Monday. All right, so the future belongs to organizations that connect with people and purpose. Because do the people need the business? Does the business need the people? All right, so the ones who stick with the right people are going to be ones who survive. All right, so in final, I told you I had 6 kids. I also am the self-proclaimed king of dad jokes. So what do you call somebody who keeps talking when nobody's listening? I'm Michael Martin. I've been your instructor. And that's all I got. All right? All right. Thank you very much. All right. Questions? Any questions?
So I appreciate everything that you put in because it seems very timely for the experience I'm going through. I work at a fully remote company, and they weren't always remote. They ended up becoming remote after COVID, and everyone who works there has been working there for 30 years. So they also have a 5-year-old project management office. So the whole idea of project management is kind of adopting as well. I work with a whole bunch of different people cross-departmentally. So I get assigned a project. I may have a different data analyst, implementation specialist, and consultant. I don't think I do a good enough job engaging with them and like building that connection. Because there's so many people, how would you recommend I go about that? We use Teams.
So 2 trains of thought. When I was a senior business analyst for enterprise, I had 50 BAs that worked for me, right, across the enterprise of 5,000 people, right? We were busy. The problem was, same thing you're talking about, and what I did was alignment. I said, you're going to be the BA for these 3 sections all the time. You're going to be the BA for these 3 sections all the time so that you can build that relationship. And what that does is, now because I'm in your weekly meeting, even just listening, right? What happens now is you go, oh, you're here, can you take care of this for me? And now you start to build that relationship. So I'm going with this. Because going back to forming, storming, norming, and performing, if we keep changing out people, we never get past forming. So you got to get past that forming stage by keeping teams consistent, right, and letting them work. That's one way. Now, and also in bigger teams, what you also do if you're an individual doing stuff, you don't have that kind of authority. If your job has any kind of, I don't want to say praise system, but like some kind of, what's the word? System for like
Recognition.
Recognition, thank you. I make sure I do that up front. Does recognition go a long way? Right? Hey, just so you know, you're the boss. I work with such and such. They did a great job. Right? That's not Mike manipulating. Does that make sense? That's Mike giving recognition where it's due. I don't know if does that answer your question, though. If it doesn't, say no.
No, it does.
Okay.
I think that I don't have the power to keep the teams together. It's more based on the capacity of our team and the projects that we're assigned.
Okay. Then take the first day, the first meeting, do team building. I had a project I started last week. Hour meeting, first 20 minutes was us just talking. Where you from? Where you at? What do you do for fun? Right? Get to know them first. Is reciprocity a real thing? Yeah, reciprocity is a real thing. If you want me to do something for you, then do something for me first. Does that make sense to everybody? You're not doing it to get something, though. Sound good? You're doing it because it's earned. So give recognition, say thank you, ask them what they want to do. Just like I did the conversation up front earlier with you. Let's ask a question. Be honest. Did that team building session make a difference up front? Pineapple on pizza? Doesn't take a long. Forming the team does not take hours. You just got to start doing it, though. Was a team for that joining portion? Was a team for a week or for 2 years? Make time to build your team first. Anybody else?
I'm just going to add to what you were saying with, to your question. When I'm sending stuff out to diverse teams, knowing what they want to get off the ground, to get them started, I make sure that package is complete.
Mm-hmm.
And that helps. But you have to talk to people to know what else they want with their package. And when you start sending that, you make a bridge there by being able to give them what they want first time around.
I'm curious because I know, like, especially in very large companies, there's a formal network and an informal network. And what would you say for project managers who have informal, who don't have formal authority, but need to get work done? So what would you advise?
First, let's talk about the difference between authority and influence. Right? Is anybody here going to yell at the boss's secretary? The CEO's secretary? Do they have any power? Yes. Or do they have a lot of influence? Now, influence is the type of power, right? So for me, I believe in mastering the process about the job so that when they come in, I can run that for you. Let me run this part for you. Let me do X, Y, and Z, because my job as a PM is to run the project. Doesn't mean I'm doing all the do-outs. Sometimes it's, hey, I need this from you. But it's either do that if I already made your life easier, going back to that reciprocity, right? It's my job to be a master of the process where I work, right? And as it changes, I deal with that to take that burden off of them. Does anybody not appreciate that? No. Constant communication, building trust, getting things done, right? So it's not always about my title. It's about what I can do. So let your influence speak for you. All right, does that answer your question? All right. Influence is a big deal. One more question. Last one. Anybody else?
I just want to make a comment. I like the way that you envision that because really, in truth, influence may be more powerful than power itself.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I like that influence, the way that you position that in the context that you put it in. So thank you.
Then that's all I got. Thank you very much for your time.